The massive alien ships appeared without warning, blocking out the sun over every major city on Earth. Their metallic hulls gleamed with an intensity that made people stop and stare, momentarily frozen in disbelief. Jay Park stood in the underground command center, his eyes fixed on the holographic displays showing the invasion's progression. Around him, military personnel moved with a strange mix of panic and calculated precision. Outside, people were running, some in terror, others with a determination that would soon become humanity's greatest weapon. The first communication from the aliens came through global broadcasting systems. A cold, mechanical voice translated into every known human language. Inhabitants of Earth, your civilization is deemed inefficient. You will be assimilated or eliminated. In Seoul, families huddled together in their apartments. In New York, traffic came to a complete standstill. In Lagos, military units began mobilizing with unprecedented speed. The world had been waiting, training, preparing for something like this, even if most people didn't know it. Hannah Kim, a brilliant aerospace engineer, was already analyzing the alien ship's technological signatures. Her fingers moved rapidly across multiple screens, breaking down complex data with surgical precision. They're using quantum-based communication networks, she muttered to herself. But their encryption has weaknesses. The alien ships began, deploying smaller crafts. These metallic pods descended toward major cities, revealing advanced weaponry that looked like something between liquid metal and living technology. Military radars tracked their movements, but traditional defense systems seemed almost laughably inadequate. In the command center, Jay realized they had mere minutes to respond. The aliens clearly believed humanity was nothing more than a primitive species ready for harvest. Their arrogance would be their first mistake. Activate Global Defense Protocol Alpha, Jay commanded, his voice steady and calm. Across continents, hidden military installations that had been prepared for decades began to stir. Underground bunkers opened. Satellite defense systems powered up. What the aliens didn't know was that humanity had been preparing for this moment for generations. The first alien landing pods touched down in major metropolitan areas. Crowds watched, in a mixture of terror and fascination as strange, metallic beings emerged. They were tall, almost 3 meters high, with exoskeletal armor that seemed to shift and change with each movement. One of the alien commanders stepped forward, its voice booming through advanced translation devices. Surrender is your only logical option. Resistance will result in complete elimination. What they didn't expect was human unpredictability. In Tokyo, a group of teenagers began streaming the invasion live on social media. In Rio de Janeiro, local street gangs were already planning counterattacks. In Cairo, university research teams were quickly analyzing the alien technology. Hannah Kim noticed something peculiar in the alien communication frequencies. They're using a hierarchical communication system, she reported. But it's rigid, almost mechanical. Jay understood immediately. Rigidity meant predictability, and predictability meant vulnerability. The alien invasion force moved with what they believed was perfect coordination. Massive ships hovered over major cities. Landing pods deployed advanced weaponry. They expected surrender, submission, total control. They were about to learn a fundamental truth about humanity. We don't submit. We adapt. We fight. As the first wave of alien troops began their systematic sweep through city streets, something unexpected happened. Instead of panic, people started organizing. Communication networks that had seemed chaotic now transformed into a unified defense mechanism. The aliens had studied human civilization through distant observations. They had calculated probabilities. They had mapped potential resistance scenarios. But they hadn't understood the human spirit. Jay Park watched the initial invasion unfold, a slight smile forming at the corner of his mouth. The aliens thought this was an invasion. Humanity saw it as an opportunity. The first day of the alien invasion was about to become a lesson they would never forget. In command centers, military bases, research facilities, and living rooms around, the world humanity was preparing its response, not with fear, not with submission, but with a promise. We will survive. We will fight. We will win. The invasion had begun. The real battle was just starting. The aliens moved through city streets with calculated precision, expecting total submission. They didn't realize humanity's greatest strength was its ability to adapt instantly. Sung Choi, a Special Forces commander, watched from a hidden underground facility as the first alien units entered Seoul's urban landscape. Their metallic exoskeletons moved like perfect machines, scanning buildings and streets with advanced sensors. But humans were not machines. Humans were unpredictable. Within hours, the first counterattack began, not with massive military power, but with something far more dangerous: human creativity. Local city workers suddenly became guerrilla fighters. Construction workers used heavy machinery as unexpected weapons. Electrical engineers hijacked alien communication networks. Teenagers who spent years playing tactical video games now applied their skills in real-world combat. In downtown Seoul, a group of university students used stolen alien communication devices to broadcast false invasion signals. They created confusion, making alien units move to locations that didn't exist. Each misdirection was a small victory. Hannah Kim's technology team worked quickly. They discovered that alien electronic systems had specific frequency vulnerabilities. By creating specialized electromagnetic pulse devices from common electronic components, they could temporarily disable alien weapons. The first alien unit to fall was taken down not by a missile, but by a modified city bus driven by a retired military truck driver. He rammed the alien transport, using an improvised electromagnetic pulse device created from parts bought at a local electronics store. Alien commanders watched in growing confusion. Their complex battle algorithms couldn't predict human behavior. Every time they expected a logical response, humans did something completely unexpected. In Tokyo, street artists used building projections to create massive holographic distractions. In Rio de Janeiro, local community networks shared real-time alien movement information faster than any military communication system. In Cairo, university researchers were already dissecting captured alien technology. Sung Choi's Special Forces team used hit-and-run tactics that completely bewildered the alien invasion force. They would strike quickly, disappear into urban landscapes, and reappear in unexpected locations. The aliens' advanced tracking systems became useless against such fluid movements. They think like computers, Sung told his team. We'll fight like humans. Each alien unit lost was more than just a military defeat. It was a psychological blow. The invaders had believed humanity would collapse quickly. Instead, they found a population that transformed every street, every building, every vehicle into a potential weapon. Communication networks that had seemed chaotic now worked with surprising efficiency. Social media platforms became intelligence sharing systems. Local community groups organized defense strategies. What looked like panic from above was actually a highly coordinated human response. The aliens had studied human civilization through distant observations. They had calculated probabilities. They had mapped potential resistance scenarios. But they hadn't understood the human spirit. Jay Park watched the initial resistance unfold from the underground command center. Data streams showed something remarkable. Humanity was not just defending. They were learning, adapting, and counterattacking faster than any alien algorithm could predict. Military units around the world began sharing captured alien technology. Each piece of equipment became a learning opportunity. Within days, human engineers were developing countermeasures and weapons based on alien designs. The invasion, that was supposed to be a simple conquest, was turning into a complex, unpredictable conflict. Alien commanders began reporting strange phenomena. Units would disappear without explanation. Communication networks would suddenly collapse. Advanced weapons would malfunction at critical moments. What they didn't realize was that humanity's greatest weapon was not technology. It was imagination, creativity, the ability to turn anything, a bus, a computer, a street lamp, into a tool of resistance. As night fell on the first week of invasion, something became clear. This was not going to be an easy conquest. Humanity was not going to submit. Humanity was going to fight. And they were going to win. The real battle had just begun. The world's research labs transformed overnight. What once were academic spaces became urgent centers of technological revolution. Hannah Kim's team worked non-stop, surrounded by captured, alien equipment and complex holographic displays. "We're not just copying their technology," Hannah told her team. "We're going to make it better." Governments that once competed now shared every single piece of scientific information. The global research network moved faster than any alien communication system. Universities in Tokyo, universities in Berlin, research centers in Cape Town, all connected through secure quantum networks. The first breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A group of young engineers in Sao Paulo discovered how to modify alien energy transfer systems. They created a portable device that could disrupt alien weapon frequencies within seconds. One small tool could disable an entire alien combat unit. Sung Choi's special forces began testing these new technologies immediately. They discovered that human adaptability was their greatest weapon. Where alien systems were rigid and predictable, human technology became fluid and dynamic. Military factories that once produced cars and machinery now created advanced combat systems. Every industrial machine became a potential weapon. Automobile. Production lines transformed into weapon manufacturing centers. Computer chip factories became sites of technological warfare. The aliens had believed their technology was generations ahead of human capabilities. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Advanced neural-linked combat suits emerged from research labs. These suits could read a soldier's intentions faster than the soldier could move. They adapted to battlefield conditions in microseconds. A soldier wearing such a suit could predict and counter alien movements before the aliens even understood what was happening. Satellite networks that once monitored weather and communication now became part of a global defense grid. Every satellite could now serve as a potential weapon, capable of targeting alien ships with precision energy beams. Quantum computing, which had been a theoretical concept, suddenly became a practical tool of war. Human programmers created algorithms that could break alien communication codes in milliseconds. What would have taken months now took mere seconds. In underground facilities across the planet, captured alien technology was being reverse-engineered. Each piece of equipment told a story. Each component became a learning opportunity. Researchers worked in shifts, pushing the boundaries of human technological understanding. Hannah Kim's most significant discovery came when she noticed a subtle weakness in alien energy transmission systems. By creating a specific electromagnetic frequency, they could potentially disable entire alien fleet sections. "It's not about having the most advanced technology," Hannah explained to her team. "It's about understanding the technology and finding its weaknesses." Global manufacturing had completely transformed. Countries that once competed now worked together with unprecedented cooperation. A microchip designed in Korea could be manufactured in Brazil, tested in Nigeria, and deployed in Canada, all within hours. The alien invasion force started receiving strange reports. Their advanced weapons were becoming less effective. Communication networks were experiencing unexpected disruptions. Technological systems that had worked perfectly during previous conquests were now failing. Jay Park watched these developments with a growing sense of hope. Humanity was not just resisting, they were evolving. Young programmers who had spent years playing complex strategy games now applied their skills to real-world technological warfare. Gamers became strategists, programmers became warriors. The line between technology and combat was disappearing. Alien commanders began to realize something terrifying. Humans were not just fighting back. They were learning and improving faster than any species they had ever encountered. The technological escalation was not just about creating better weapons. It was about reimagining what was possible. As the third week of invasion ended, one thing became clear. This was no longer just a war. This was a technological revolution, and humanity was leading the charge. The aliens had chosen the wrong planet to invade. The first major human counteroffensive began without warning. Alien commanders detected multiple simultaneous attack points, something their strategic algorithms couldn't process quickly enough. Admiral David Williams had spent months planning this moment. Orbital platforms, originally designed for communication and research, now became devastating weapon systems. Each satellite could now target alien ships with precision energy weapons developed from reverse-engineered alien technology. Sol became the first major battleground where human technological adaptations truly showed their power. Alien ground. Units that entered the city found themselves trapped in a complex network of technological traps. Streets transformed into living battlefields where every building, every vehicle, every piece of infrastructure could become a weapon. Sung Choi's Special Forces units moved like shadows. They used neural-linked combat suits that predicted alien movements before the aliens themselves could react. Each soldier became a complex weapon system, capable of adapting faster than any mechanical unit. Hannah Kim's team had developed something revolutionary, a communication disruption system that could completely blind alien battle networks. When activated, entire alien squadrons would suddenly lose all strategic coordination. The aliens had believed human technology was primitive. They were about to learn how wrong they were. In the first 48 hours of the counteroffensive, human forces destroyed nearly 40% of the alien invasion fleet, not through massive firepower but through intelligent, adaptive strategies that the aliens couldn't comprehend. Military units from countries that once competed now worked with perfect synchronization. A tactical plan developed in a Brazilian research center could be implemented by Korean special forces within hours. Global communication networks had transformed into a living, breathing defense system. Alien commanders began receiving strange reports. Their most advanced units were being defeated by what seemed like impossible tactics. A single human team could disable an entire alien combat squadron using methods that defied traditional warfare strategies. The psychological impact was significant. Alien troops, who had invaded expecting total submission, now faced an enemy that was not just resisting but actively hunting them. Jay Park watched the counteroffensive from the underground command center. Data streams showed something remarkable. Humanity was not just defending, they were winning. Global media, which had initially reported invasion updates with fear, now broadcast stories of human resistance. Every small victory became a massive morale boost. People who had been terrified now felt something different: hope. In orbital spaces, human-modified satellites began targeting alien ships with unprecedented precision. Each shot was calculated, each movement predicted. The aliens discovered that human technology was advancing faster than they could respond. Alien communication networks started experiencing total collapse. The rigid, algorithmic systems that had worked perfectly in previous invasions now became their greatest weakness. Humans had found the subtle frequencies, the small vulnerabilities that could bring down entire technological systems. The counteroffensive was not just a military operation. It was a complete reimagining of warfare. Young programmers who had spent years playing complex strategy games now guided military tactics. Gamers became strategists. Computer experts became warriors. The line between technology and combat disappeared completely. Admiral Williams understood something fundamental. This was not just about defeating an alien invasion. This was about proving humanity's potential. As the fourth week of invasion ended, the alien fleet was in complete disarray. What had started as a simple conquest had transformed into a fight for survival, and humans were winning. The aliens had made one critical mistake. They had underestimated humanity's ability to adapt, to learn, to overcome. They had chosen the wrong planet to invade, and humanity was going to make them pay. The tide had turned, and there was no going back. The final battle lasted less than 72 hours. But those hours would be remembered throughout galactic history. Alien command ships began experiencing total system failures. Neural networks that once controlled entire invasion fleets suddenly collapsed. What the aliens didn't understand was that humanity had done more than just fight. They had completely rewritten the rules of warfare. J. Park watched from the Global Command Center as human forces launched their final assault. Every satellite, every modified weapon system, every piece of captured alien technology now worked in perfect synchronization. It wasn't just a military operation. It was a global statement. The last alien mothership hung in Earth's orbit like a wounded beast. Its massive hull, which had once struck terror into human hearts, now looked vulnerable. Smaller human attack vessels swarmed around it like angry hornets, each one guided by neural-linked pilots who could predict alien movements faster than computer systems. Sung Choi's special forces completed the ground assault. Cities that had been battlegrounds were now killing zones for the alien invasion force. Every street, every building had been transformed into a potential weapon. The aliens discovered that humans could turn anything, a bus, a street lamp, a computer network, into a tool of destruction. Hannah Kim's final technological breakthrough came in the last hours of the conflict. She discovered a way to use the aliens' own communication frequencies against them. Entire alien battle networks collapsed within minutes, leaving their most advanced units completely defenseless. Admiral David Williams coordinated the orbital assault. Satellites that were once used for communication and research now became the most advanced weapon systems in human history. Each shot was calculated, each movement predicted with mathematical precision. The alien commanders realized, too, late that they had made a fundamental mistake. They had studied human civilization from a distance. They had calculated probabilities. They had mapped potential resistance scenarios. But they hadn't understood the human spirit. Global communication networks, which had seemed chaotic during the early stages of invasion, now worked with shocking efficiency. Social media platforms became intelligence-sharing systems. Local community groups became advanced tactical units. What had looked like panic was actually a highly coordinated, global response. As the final alien ship began to break apart, J. Park transmitted a message that would be remembered throughout the galaxy. It was simple. It was clear. It was a warning to any civilization that might consider invading Earth. We are humanity. We do not submit. We conquer. The destruction of the alien fleet was total, but it was more than just a military victory. It was a statement about human potential, about our ability to adapt, to learn, to overcome. Young people who had been playing video games became the strategic minds behind the victory. Programmers became warriors. Scientists became battlefield commanders. The line between technology and combat disappeared completely. When the last alien ship exploded in Earth's orbit, something changed. The global celebration was not just about winning a war. It was about proving something fundamental about the human species. We are not victims. We are survivors. We are conquerors. Alien civilizations watching from distant star systems received the message loud and clear. Earth was not a target. Earth was a threat. In research labs, military bases, and living rooms around the world, humanity celebrated. But it was not a celebration of destruction. It was a celebration of potential, of what we could become. The invasion that was supposed to eliminate humanity had instead revealed our true nature: adaptable, resilient, unstoppable. As dust settled and the last pieces of alien technology were collected, one thing became clear. This was not the end of humanity's journey. This was just the beginning. The galaxy would forever remember the day Earth transformed from a potential target to the most feared civilization in known space. Humanity had arrived, and we were here to stay,